Hey, Fred here. I'm gonna go for a one-wheel ride. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. I should be buying a one-wheel here once the virus thing lets up. And onto the video, let's go. One wheel activated. All right, so I'm borrowing the one wheel from my friend, and I have had it about 3 weeks now, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks, something like that. I got it just before the quarantine started, but it's gotten to where the weather's been pretty bad, so I haven't had a lot of time to ride it. But the last week or so has gotten a lot better. And so at this point, I'd say I've got about 40 to 45 miles on it and feeling a lot more comfortable. So one thing that I found very helpful was paying attention to where your feet are on the board. And I'll see if I can slow down a little, get a shot. So I keep my back foot pretty much even, maybe slightly open stance, and the front a little more open. I find that gives me a better ability to pivot. And one difference between snowboarding and one-wheeling is that since you're not in bindings, I've found that in order to turn, really both feet have to put a fair amount of pressure on your heels or your toes in order to turn. With a snowboard, as long as you start leaning one foot, the other foot's coming with it because you're attached. But on this, you know, if I'm putting all my weight on my heel and then I change the other heel, you can see that, let me see if I can show you, that you can turn very quickly. But if you only do your front foot or your back foot, it's going to turn, but it'll be a lot slower. So that's one of the biggest differences. So in all the videos, you see everybody carving on it, and it always looks to me like they're going really, really fast. What I think part of it is that a lot of them are lighter than me. So I'm 225, 226 right now, 6'4". I've got size 11, 12 feet, depending on what brand of shoe. And I'm probably about as big as the board is going to get any real performance out of. And so I just got to go a lot more gingerly. I have had a couple nosedives. I've saved most of them, but I've had one where I fell down and jacked my knee up a little bit. So I found I can't lean as far forward as you see people do on a lot of the videos, just because I'm heavier and it's a lot more for the board to handle. So my best advice as somebody who I've only had 1 or 2 little falls is take it slow. Practice, get used to the balance, practice turning, practice going the opposite direction, and really just get a feel for it. It's certainly one of those things that the more you do it, the better you get at it. And so the people you see that are ripping around and super balanced, they're people who've probably just been riding it for hundreds of miles versus I'm at about 45. But you can see that I'm getting whoa! I was a little too far on the toe side, and there's nothing holding my heels down, so I came off the board a little bit. One thing you can do too, to know if you're riding it correctly, is when you connect it to the app, when you finish the ride, take a look and see if it tells you how many times the sensors have lost contact with your feet. If you see that more than once or twice, chances are you're not riding it quite right, and you're at risk of it actually turning itself off, or rather stopping powering the motor. It'll still be on, but if it does that while you're riding it, you're gonna regret that, and it's gonna hurt. I've got this 2-mile loop in my neighborhood behind my house, and it's perfect. I can do lap after lap. There's no traffic. It's not a through road, so that really the only road cars on here are people who live here. and I can experiment, try the different modes. And half of it is this new pavement where they paved it last year, at late in the year, like fall. And you can do like little drills and try to see like if you can stop exactly where you want, or okay, I see that stick, I want to go on the left of it, and I see that little stone, I want to go to the right of it, and see if you can see my shadow a little bit here from my riding stance. Definitely like kind of a relaxed stance, you know, knees bent, arms out, a little more stable. Now, one thing that I don't think I've figured out yet for people who have flight fins is your feet have to be right against the fender, or at least that's my understanding, in order to use it. And I feel like that's going to have a narrower stance and you're going to have less side-to-side control. So I don't quite understand that yet. And we're home. Another thing that I find helps is you can definitely like practice with navigating around very tight places and seeing what you're able to do. I find it just helps with the overall control of the board. So like going around this circle of mulch and then like going behind the car here. I'm definitely gonna overdo my ability here in a second. But you're able to like play around with it a little bit and get a sense of the ability. Try like very tight turns. Whoa! See, one of the fangs just touched. But if you get it just right, your ability is going to grow pretty quickly. Ducati. So that's my update after having the board for 45 to 50 miles. And so far, so good. So thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider. Give me a like if you enjoyed the content. And thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye.